So yesterday we did a single point perspective drawing, and the ones I saw were really great. If you're still working on that, continue to work on it. Remember, you have to do your best job making those art gallery portraits for the or paintings for the drawing inside of the room that you drew, and then color it. So that's what you need to work on. If you've done that, then you can move on to this. We're going to do a 2-point perspective drawing. You can see I've sort of been working on one here. And so this is sort of like the opposite of what we did yesterday. So if you do single point perspective, it helps you to like look inside of something like a box or a house or whatever. So now we're going to do 2-point perspective, which lets us look at the outside of something. So we're going to draw like a city corner. So the first thing to do, I'm going to start with a pencil. You'll need a ruler or some kind of straight edge, just like last time. So find your rulers or find a straight edge and your pencil. And then after you're done drawing with pencil, you can go back and ink it with a marker and then color it. So let's start with this. I'm going to draw right here. I'm going to come sort of halfway, maybe, yeah, about halfway here, and I'm going to put a little X, and then I'm going to put a little X over here at about the same place. And then I can draw between them the horizon. So this is called the horizon line, but that's not super important for our drawing, and it's hard to see on this video, which is no big deal. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a Sharpie right now so that you can see better, and then I'll come back to pencil in a second. So I'm going to draw a vertical line like right here in the middle of the page, and I'm going to try to make it exactly perpendicular to the edge of the paper. That means going exactly at a 90-degree angle, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to come up here to the top of my straight edge, and I'm just going to draw down to like about there. All right, now I'm going to go back, I'm going to put my straight edge there, and then I'm going to come down a little bit farther to the bottom of the paper, and I'm going to draw a smaller vertical line right there, so you can see that. Now I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to, because I'm going to want to erase this, I'm going to go from the bottom of this line, and I'm just going to draw all the way to the vanishing point on the left, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the right. And this is just to help like kind of give me a guide, because that's going to be the sidewalk, and it'll give me a guide to where I need to draw. Now I'm going to switch back to marker because I think I can do that. So the same thing, here's the top of this line. I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to draw all the way to the vanishing point. And now I'm going to keep this edge of the ruler on the vanishing point, and I'm just going to slide the ruler or the straight edge down to the bottom of that line. And I'm going to make sure I have room to draw, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to use the straight edge to draw that next line. So that's the curb of a street. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to start at the top of that line, and then I'm going to draw to the vanishing point. Remember, you're doing this in pencil. Also remember, pause the video when I get ahead of you. And now I'm going to pivot that down to the bottom of that line, and I'm going to draw that line. Okay, so there's the curb, and so here's the street. Now this is going to be a corner of a building right here. So I've already drawn the line to the vanishing point, but I don't want to go all the way there. So I'm just going to go a little ways there. So I'm going to line up vanishing point here, the corner here, and I'm just going to draw like a couple inches on each side. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. Vanishing point on the right, corner on the left, line them up, and then I'm going to go a couple inches. Okay, now I need to do this. This is handy with a pencil, so I'm going to do that first. I'm just going to draw a line that's parallel with this line, and I'm just eyeballing it, which is fine. And it's going to go all the way down to this line, and I'm going to do that on both sides. I might make that one a little bit longer. So now to get the top of the building, I have to use the vanishing point. So I'm going to line that up, this corner here first. I'm going to line that up with the vanishing point here, and that's a pretty harsh angle, but that's how it works. So trust the process. You might be like, oh, that's not going to look right at all, but trust it, it will. And I'm just going to draw to this line that I drew that you may not be able to see, but I can see it, and you'll be able to see it on your paper. I'm going to draw there, and then I'm going to connect these on that line, so it's just a vertical line down. And so there's one side of the building. Then I'm going to repeat the process over here. I'm going to go to the top corner of the building, and then I'm going to put the ruler, other end of the ruler on the vanishing point, and I'll adjust and make sure they're lined up. And now I'm just going to draw to this line right here. And then I'm going to connect those with a vertical line. And look at that, we have our first building on the street. For this next one, I'm going to go left first, and then I'll go right. So going left this way, up that street, I'm going to build another building. This one's going to be maybe a little taller than that building. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out, okay, how far out is this going to come? And I'm going to say just right here. So I'm going to go a little bit taller, and I'm going to go down to this line that I drew, because that's the sidewalk. I'm actually going to go a little further. Let's let it stick out a little bit. That'll be exciting. All right, now I'm going to do a tricky thing here where I'm going to line up at the top of this line here, and then I'm going to go to the vanishing point, and I'm going to like make a little hangover here. And so what that means is I'm going to start like right there, and I'm just going to go like that. I kind of wish it was a little taller, but it's not, so it's okay. So it's going to go there. Then I'm going to come back down here to the street, to the sidewalk, and I'm going to decide, okay, how wide do I want this? I don't want it that wide, so I'm just going to go to the vanishing point to maybe like right here. So it's way out there. Now I got to draw this line, so I'm going to do this thing. So the whole thing with 2-point perspective is you're just going back and forth constantly between the 2 points, right? Let's deal with this little hangover thing, because I think it's going to be kind of cool. I'm going to draw a vertical line. Okay. Then I'm going to come over here. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to draw the roof. Remember, if you're using a pencil, this is easier because you can erase. I'm not using a pencil, so I'm just going to be super careful. That's a pretty crazy angle. All right, now I'm going to come straight down from there, and this is where it gets a little crazy. I'm going to go back to this line here, to the bottom of that line it up down here with the vanishing point, adjust it so it's right, and then I'm just going to connect these 2 lines. And there I have to fix it a little bit, right? Now I'm going to come in a little bit from that line. So you could draw it right here, but I'm going to shove it in just a little bit like that. And then I'm going to draw another vertical line that comes down. Then I'm going to go to this corner. This is super tricky. Find the vanishing point and draw that. Same thing down here. I'm going to go to this corner. I'm going to find the vanishing point on the right. And I'm going to draw that, and I have a little mistake. Not a horrible mistake, but the same thing here. I'm going to put my ruler back here in this corner, find the vanishing point, and then draw down there. And then I might fix it by doing that. I'm just going to do some hatching to make it shady, okay? So there's another building. Let's do this. Let's come over here. I'm going to put like a warehouse kind of building over here. And you can do kind of whatever you want. Let's make this one a little shorter, and it's a little longer. So I'm going to come to here, and I'm going to go down to that line that I drew there. Okay, now I'm going to go from right here, well, let's bring it down a little bit so it's not exactly on the same line. All right, so I'm going to go here. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let's do the roof first. Oh, goodness. I don't know about this. Okay, great. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to come down over here. I'm going to draw another vertical line. I'm going to come down a little bit off the concrete, or on the sidewalk. Then I'm going to come to here. Remember to pause the video if you need to. And then I'm going to draw this line. Okay, it's heading towards the vanishing point, but I don't go all the way to the vanishing point. Then this line needs to come, so I'm going to go up to this top corner here, line it up, go to the vanishing point on the left, and then I'm going to connect those two lines. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Find this corner, then go to the vanishing point, bam. Then I'm going to do this. Now this is kind of a warehouse though, so let's give it a kind of a cool door. I'm going to put a vertical line. I'm going to come in just a little bit from the edge and do a vertical line here, just kind of like randomly. Then I'm going to go to the same distance, so whatever this distance is, I'm going to try to kind of get close to that distance there. It can be a little closer actually to the wall. And then I'm going to draw a shorter line right there. I'm going to come back to this line, to the top of that line, and I'm going to draw to the vanishing point just to connect those two lines. Okay? Now, here's the tricky part. I'm going to pivot on this point here, so I'm going to keep my finger there, and I'm just going to like rotate the ruler a little bit, and I'm going to do another connection there. I'm going to do the same thing. So this gives it perspective. So it feels like you're standing out here actually looking at it in 3 dimensions, which is pretty cool. So remember to keep the right side of your ruler here, the center of your ruler, on the vanishing point, and just continue to rotate it so that these lines aren't really parallel. They would be if you were looking right at them, but we're not. We're looking at them from over at a different angle, so they're not parallel. They don't appear to be parallel, even though they might be. But you know, this is one of those cool like garage doors that's like on the back of the auditorium that roll up. Okay, there you go. Oh, might need to do one more. I kind of got close on those. That's okay. Oh, geez. Okay, right there. There's like a break-in one. All right, let's put a door over here. So it's the same thing. We'll just put like an apartment door, like an apartment building door. So I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to go a little bit higher over here, down to the bottom, and then I'm going to put my ruler at the top of this line right here. I'm going to go to the vanishing point. And what I discover is I'm going to have to like raise this line to meet it. So I'm just going to do that. Okay? Cool. Let's give it a little window. Same thing. A little bit, maybe a little bit there. And then just draw to the vanishing point. So same thing over here. I'm going to have to raise that line a little bit to make it work. And over here, I got it pretty close. All right, so there's a window. I'm going to put some more windows in. I'm going to come up here. And I'm just going to draw two, like, there's the bottom of a window, there's the bottom of a window. I'm going to come up and do the same thing up here. These are kind of tall windows. There's the top of a window, there's the top of a window. And then I'm going to connect those with a vertical line. Okay? And then one more set of windows. And they're going to come up here. I'm going to put my left side of the ruler on the vanishing point. I'm going to come up a little ways. There's the bottom of window number, whatever window we're on, and here's the bottom of the next window. Then same thing, come up here to the top, and those angles get kind of crazy, but trust the process. And then remember, you can come make adjustments as you need to. I'm trying to line up each line so that it makes sense. All right, nice. Let's do some more over here. So I'm going to put the line here. I'm going to find this angle. I'm going to put the ruler here. I'm going to find the vanishing point, and then I'm going to draw the bottoms of windows there. Same thing. I'm going to come up here to the top of that line. I'm going to draw the tops of the windows. And then I'm going to connect them. I'm just going to do this freehand, but you can use a ruler if you want. Okay, they're a little crooked. Same thing here. I'm going to go to here. Oh no, they're a little lower. I'm going to come up a little bit. Same thing over here. I missed an important step on those, but that's okay. Just do it this way, and it will be fine. But the step that I missed was I should have started right here, right? I should have found where does that line go to? It goes to there, so you would start here, so those windows would be the same height and length. But that didn't happen, so that's okay. Let's do it here, though. So that door starts right there, so I'm going to start there with this window. And then these would be a little bit not as long as the door. So you got to be patient. Okay, so there is an apartment building. That's pretty cool. Let's come over here and let's give this we'll give this like a cool like store front door. So I'm going to draw a vertical line and another vertical line, and then I'm going to connect them to the vanishing point. And remember, I may need to make adjustments, like right here this line isn't long enough, right? So I'm going to adjust it and bring it up. Right now, let's do, this might bleed a little too much for with the marker, but I'm going to do just another vertical line here and another vertical line here, and then I'm going to connect them to the vanishing point. And then I'm just going to draw this, all right? So there's that. And then if you want, you could do like a billboard or a window up here, or let's draw Cherokee Elementary School here, even though that's not Cherokee Elementary School. And then you could like do a chief head if you wanted. Or whatever you want to do. You know? Okay, so there you have some stuff. You could do a sign here. Let's do a sign here. So do a line there. Do a line there. Connect them with a vertical line. Use your straight edge if you if you need to. And then I don't know what's in this factory. Let's say they make cars. Or whatever. Okay? Now, just so we continue this perspective. Oh, I didn't put a doorknob here. Let's do this. Bam. Okay. Another thing that you can do is let's go ahead and we'll give this like a little mat out here. So I'm going to come out here. Here's the door. There's a mat there. I'm going to go a little farther. Now I'm going to connect that edge to the vanishing point over here. I'm going to connect this edge to the vanishing point over here. And so there's a mat. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, and if you want to color this, I think you should. Let's do this. I'm going to add just a tiny vertical line there, and a vertical line here, and a bigger vertical line there, and the same thing over here. I'll start with the big vertical line, and the middle vertical line, and the small vertical line, and then I'm going to put little crosses on them that get bigger or get smaller as you go away. So there are like the power lines. If you want, you could even like right? So there you have it. There is your 2-point perspective drawing of a city block. If you want, you could like you might shade this in. You might shade this side. These are just hash marks. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, now I'm going to do some cross hatching on this one because I'm going to say it's darker over here. Okay, there you go. So color that, sign it, and you're good to go.